are back. We're doing it big. Donovan Sadiq, second hour, you guys. Second hour. And we are still with Mr. Moreno Valley, known as Mr. Moreno Valley, Daryl Terrell. And we are still talking about the election that's going to be happening tomorrow, you guys. If you have not voted, get up there, go vote. Vote your conscience. And if you're voting for the Area Trustee 5 for Moreno Valley, RCC Area Trustee 5, Daryl Terrell is the only choice that's out there. I mean, he's not running away from things. He's going on different platforms. He's one of the only candidates out here that you are actually either hearing his voice or you're seeing him in action and what he's going to do, and he's telling you what he needs to do, or but he can't do it if he isn't elected. And again, Daryl, like I said, I want to thank you for. Number one, you're a fellow alumni like myself, and I really think that you're going to be a trustee for the students. That's going to stand up for the students, because we haven't had that before. It's been a long time. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. But recently, you went on good buddy of mine, Roy Bleckert's show, and Roy has a really good show for you guys that don't know that. And if you guys get a chance, please like, share, and subscribe to his show, and go over there. And then Fred Buenos. God, I can't roll my tongue to say that. But he has a good Facebook page. If you guys are interested in what's going on in the city of Moreno Valley, it's called Moreno Valley First. Go to that page. It's excellent. It tells you everything that's going on. Even when I was overseas, I was keeping up with what was going on. But I'm just going to say this. You went on Roy's show, and Roy's show has been depicted as a right-wing Tucker Carlson type show, which I think is total BS. That is not true. Is Roy conservative? I would assume he is. I'm just assuming that. Mm-hmm. But the point is, you're a registered Democrat?
Yes.
Okay, so you're a registered Democrat. I'm an independent, but you're a registered Democrat. Why is everybody surprised that you went on that show? Why wouldn't you go on that show?
Well, like I said, I'm a candidate for all people. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, independent, green. It doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. Black, white, it doesn't matter. What my message is, it unites all of us. Mm-hmm. It's economic empowerment. Mm-hmm. I went on his show because economic empowerment it doesn't say Republican or Democrat, but it's a empowering folks to gain economic empowerment, so you could be able to live your American dream. Mm-hmm. And going on Roy's show is I'm reaching out to all people. I'm not the Democratic trustee or the Republican okay. trustee. I'm a trustee for all people in this area. I represent Moreno Valley, and I don't care what your political philosophy is. Economic mobility has meaning for all people, and that's what links us together. So for me to go on there is to reach out to his listeners that have the same challenges that we have. And the challenges are having the specialized training or education they need to get better jobs. People want better jobs. They want to stay off the freeway. They want to stay close to home. They want to buy a new house or a car or send their kids to college and have benefits that don't kill them. And so going on the show is a way of uniting all of us together. And I'm a candidate that's going to unite people. I'm not the Democratic candidate. Again, I keep telling people, I'm a candidate that represents our community and our interests, and to represent our students' interests. And that's called economic empowerment. Okay. And that's why I went on this show.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have a question for you. Why is it so important in a nonpartisan race, which your race is, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or a Democrat. Yeah. Why was it important that your opponent is being endorsed? Why is she being endorsed by the Democratic Party? What's that about?
Well, I think going through the whole endorsement process, I guess people see Moreno Valley as a Democratic town. So they figure if I get the endorsement, that means I get all the Democratic votes. But again, in a nonpartisan race, I look at that if you're a candidate in nonpartisan, you should reach out to all people, regardless if they're Republican, Democratic, or they're right or left, middle, it doesn't matter. Being a trustee, you represent all people, regardless of their political party or political philosophy or their race or religion. It doesn't matter. You're a trustee for all people. You just can't say we're all in this together and you only represent one segment of the population, which is Democrat. I'm a Democrat, but I'm going to reach out to all people because, to me, economic mobility touches all people, regardless, again, of your political party, your gender. It doesn't matter. We have that in common. And this community has been getting the short end of the stick when it comes to those type of career tech educational programs that will give a person a hand up and to have the mobility to be able to move to a different economic level. So
you know, and this is what I didn't understand about her being endorsed by the Democratic Party is the she got endorsed by the Moreno Valley Democratic Party, right?
No, the Riverside County.
The Riverside County.
The 61st Assembly,
whatever it was. Yeah, okay. But see, and this is why I really, and I'm not trying to, be disrespectful to people who are Democrats, but what I'm saying is you got to look at the reality of the situation. Do they not know that Hispanics vote almost half Republican? 60% of most Hispanic voters vote Democrat. That's true as of right now. But they're finding that more and more Hispanics are leaving the Democratic Party for conservative values, and that's a fact. Even in the black community, more and more black men and black women are leaving the Democratic Party for more conservative values. And plus, a lot of reasons, the Democratic Party ain't doing anything for black people, so in general. Yeah. So a lot of people are exiting out of that. But even in the Asian community, Asians are more conservative than they are Democratic. So I when I look at the Democratic Party putting their 2 cents in and doing an endorsement, it's kind of stupid to do that in regards to you really got to fight for that vote because you're assuming that everybody here is going to be Democratic. Like you said, it doesn't matter in your race. Yeah. It's nonpartisan.
Yeah, and that's what I think because.
Every vote should count.
Every vote count. People should be included, whether you're Republican or Democrat, because that means you can't, if you're Democratic endorsing, that means you can't seek Republican voters, right?
No, why not?
You should be able to seek all
votes,
people.
Right.
Because that's what I'm saying. I'm a candidate that's going to represent all people, regardless if you're Republican, Democratic, Independent, left, right, it doesn't matter. I'm a candidate that's going to represent all people, the trustee that will represent all people.
Right. So, I really think it's dumb because you're a Democrat, you won't go on a conservative platform. Any exposure you get as a candidate, as you know, you've been running a brilliant campaign, is good exposure.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Going on Roy's show is because of the fact we do find common ground on some issues. And
how hard was he on you? How hard was he on you?
Well, he was. Let's put it this way. He was particular Roy.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect from him.
Sure.
I just went on the show because I think the message that I talk about, economic mobility,
that resonates with a lot of Republicans.
Resonates with a lot of people. It's just like I said, Democrats too. Who doesn't want to have a better job? Who doesn't want to be able to move out of poverty, to get a home? You're saying.
Black folks, no joking, go ahead.
No, but like you always say.
Repping the hood, I got to rep the hood. Go ahead.
Like you said before. Home ownership, owning something.
Right.
Who doesn't want to own a home? Who doesn't want to be closer to your family? And so that resonates with people that are conservative, liberal. It doesn't matter. And it's not about, as the term is free lunch.
Okay.
But it's about economic empowerment so you can get the resources you need to be successful in your life.
Well, like they say in this country, money makes the world go around. And if you ain't got it, you can't get any resources. You got to get to the money, and to get to the money, you got to work hard to get there.
Well, yeah,
and that's a conservative value.
Yeah, and when you think about this for a moment, when I got involved in Moreno Valley's politics, I used to, develop that they were evil and all this stuff. But so I had a good education to understand that if we didn't have people like developers, I'm talking about responsible developers.
Sure, they have a role to play in the community.
Because they create the jobs.
Right.
Why would we stop people like that from coming to our community if they create the jobs? That doesn't make any sense because if they're not here, where are you going to work?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of have to understand that there's more to it than I don't like developers and all that. No, it says we need developers. We need responsible developers.
Right.
That bring jobs into our community, but jobs that have economic mobility.
Right. Now, one of the problems I have with the developers when I got involved in the politics is that a lot of developers, they always seem to bring outside construction sources and things to do the work in building their project or whatever it is. I just wish that we would have more, and you had a program that you challenged with that, where they would hire more residents within the city.
That's hire more value.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons, because like you said, you noticed this, and I think a lot of people at the Skechers noticed that when they started building Skechers, they didn't use a lot of local people who lived in Moreno Valley.
Right.
And the people that worked after the construction, there was maybe one person. I think that person
transfer
was
from Ontario. Yeah.
Exactly.
Ontario.
But see, the thing is, that's why I went hard on what I did for local hire, because the fact is, if our taxpayer monies help build this project, then we need to be part of the workforce before and after.
Right.
That's why you have the community workforce agreement that I push hard for, because that will bring local people empowerment. It creates paths to construction jobs, good paying jobs too, with benefits. So that's why I went full blast on that, because I saw the council, not seeing the bigger picture.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's get back to Roy's thing, because Roy does talk at the city council just like you do. I mean, you guys have been doing it for years. Again, big ups to Roy's dad, Pete. Pete, that's what really inspired me to get involved in local politics.
Me too.
Because Pete was letting people have it, and he was telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Roy has a nickname of Repeat. People call him Repeat. And he doesn't mind if you call him Repeat, because he does look like his dad and everything. But we got these culture wars going on, and like I said, nationally, I'm known as the recovering Democrat.
Yeah.
Because I left the Democratic Party because it just wasn't for me, right? Because I realized, just like you, sometimes in certain things you get an epiphany, right? And then for me, I said, wait a minute. Not everything a Republican says is evil and bad and all this other stuff. I mean, agree. There are certain things that I agree with the Republican Party. Here I am, a Democrat at the time, but I'm still pro-life.
Yeah.
Even though the Democratic Party says, pro-choice, I'm pro-life. So that's what I'm not trying to recruit anybody to be a Republican, but what I'm saying is, in the campaign that you ran, you seem to have said, to hell with all the bull. You want all the votes you can get. And so you went to those platforms to garner votes, or to get people to understand your message and what you got to do. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Democrat or if you are a Republican and you don't go to these different platforms, it could be the difference between, these races are so close nowadays, it could be the difference between 2 and 3 votes if you get in or not. So every vote counts. Yeah,
and that's the like you said, includes, like we said before, it's about included, and it's about me reaching out to other people who may think differently than I do, but we do have a common ground. Like I said, the common ground that me and Roy talked about, we talked about, because I'm going to tell you straight out, we didn't get to that subject matter, and I think it has nothing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not defund the police, though. I'm not that.
Right. But see, people would think because you're a Democrat, you're defund the police.
Oh.
But as a conservative person, how would I know that if you don't come out and we hear your voice and we don't see what you are actually saying, versus somebody putting up a random meme that we don't even know if that was you or not?
Well, yeah. And see, again, just like you said, the thing is, like you said, people hear the Republicans and hear the Democrats. Oh, that's horrible. No.
Right.
But there's common ground. And so my thing is, I reach out to people because I think we have a lot in common. Yeah, maybe some things I don't agree about the Republican Party, but there are some things that I do agree. Mm-hmm. And I rather to build bridges, not tear them down, blow them up, or anything else. But I mean,
have you ever in this election cycle, has anybody ever contacted you and asked you specifically, why are you a Republican, or you know what I mean, kind of seeing, because unfortunately you got people that vote straight ticket.
Well, I never had somebody asked me was, now when I ran for mayor, I had people ask me was I a Republican or Democrat. Then I had some people that wanted me to come speak to their organization, and they were Republican, and they were more conservative because they liked my message.
Sure.
But I'm a Democrat. But
conservative, it looks like you're a conservative Democrat.
And I choose not to
identify
to go there.
Yeah.
But there's people that, like you said, my message resonate with them because they like what I have to say. Right. But sometimes we let labels keep us from being together. Well,
and like I said, I think if you're running for office, every vote counts. So why wouldn't you? What do you got to hide when you don't want to go on a conservative radio station? And if I'm a Republican, why wouldn't I go on a progressive radio station or a show?
Because differences is what is the word they say? If you, like you were saying before, why wouldn't I go to Roy's show and talk to his listeners?
Right.
And someone may not agree with me.
Right.
And I may not, but it doesn't matter.
But maybe 2 or 3 will.
Yeah. And my thing is to reach out. It's okay that we could agree to disagree, but as long as we respect each other. Sure. But I think people need to hear more uplifting messages of economic mobility. And Roy understands economic mobility.
Right. Because if you look at if you really listen to your message and you break your message down, your message is basically what conservatives talk about on their side. When it comes to doing for yourself, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, it's about getting the resources. Yeah. But nobody's going to give it to you for free.
That's the thing when we talked again about economic empowerment and mobility. Because here's the thing: I could do so much as a trustee. I could bring all these career tech educational programs to Moreno Valley College, but it's going to be up to the residents, the students, to take advantage of it. I can't force them to do it.
Right. And then if they don't take advantage of it, you've got those resources sitting there, and like in the military and the federal government, you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, and so it's in everybody's best interest. If we're going to change the dynamic of what Moreno Valley College should be, if we're going to bring these resources in, then we better use them. Because if we don't use them, then it was useless to try to do it in the first place. Because everybody's been talking about, we want better jobs. Okay, in order for the jobs that careers they want in this community, you got to have some specialized training. Now, again, I can't force somebody to take that training.
Right. Well, let's be honest, and let's be plain. Let's keep it as plain as possible. What jobs do you actually believe Moreno Valley should have here, so in your opinion?
In my opinion,
let's get rid of the warehouse. Let's say it's 40 years ago. Yeah. When we were young kids and stuff like that. Okay. There wasn't any warehouses here, whatever, and we're still trying to figure out. We're still a bedroom community. Now people from LA have come out here. What jobs does Daryl Terrell think that Moreno Valley should have here, or that we deserve, whatever?
Well, what I think is, to be honest, I think we should have some medical. I see medical beyond the hospital. Renewable energy jobs, research and development, and I say that strongly because I think we have to bring trust to do it, but we're not advanced manufacturing. Okay. You asked me that. Advanced manufacturing, medical. I think we should have some IT. But in order for us to have that, we have to have an educated, skilled workforce. And that's what Daryl Terrell thinks we should have.
Right. So in Daryl Terrell's mind, the city of Moreno Valley, and you're a numbers guy, you've done your homework. Do we have an educated workforce?
According to the census, 51% and again, let me stress this again, 51% of the age of 25 years older has a high school education or less. Now, based on that, no. Because, why do I say that? Warehouse jobs doesn't require a person to have just a high school education or less. But the thing is, and my mentor told me this, we can have something better. But if you show the business community that you have say, like I said, the thing I talk about, the hybrid training apprenticeship program that meets their needs, they will come here because, again, they don't have to spend that kind of money because we're working together with them. And in the good jobs that I'm talking about doesn't require you to have an education beyond high school.
Right.
But it requires you some specialized training. Now, we have people, let's say 18% has a college education. It's not enough. Mm-hmm. But adding that to the mix will get a company to come in to a company that we normally couldn't get because we have a program that could train people. And we're working together with that company. We're taking that company, we're working together to create that career path. So to bring the jobs that I'm talking about, need a system, like I said, our learn, earn approach, hybrid training, apprenticeship program would attract companies other than logistics to come into this community.
Right. Let me ask you this. Since we're just talking, what is Daryl Terrell's thought on what the minimum wage should be, the federal minimum wage? Because I remember, let me cut you off. I remember at a city council meeting, you brought up the fact that you don't really have to go by the federal minimum wage. The city can make and set their own minimum wage within the city. So what do you think a minimum wage should be for Moreno Valley residents? And we're not going to talk about
just a Moreno Valley resident. You just mean, God, we're talking about entry. These are entry level jobs. Mm-hmm. I think the bare minimum should be at least, where is that, 15 or something like that? Mm-hmm. A bare minimum. 15, I mean, because we don't want to make it to like, the minimum wage is $30 an hour. I mean, then you really nailing a lot of people out of the mix.
Well, okay, Daryl, I don't know if you've heard. I keep my ear to the street. I watch a lot of TV because I don't work. So, unlike you're still out there, chugging away. But I don't work, so I watch a lot of news and stuff. DoorDash delivery drivers in New York. Did you hear about that? In New York, they are demanding $30 an hour. And these are mostly immigrant people who do the DoorDash delivery. They are demanding $30 an hour. And the New York mayor is entertaining that. And these guys are trying to unionize the DoorDash thing for a minimum of $30 an hour. Now, that's New York. If New York is going to do that, and these are unskilled workers, why can't we do that here?
I just think it would just X a lot of people out.
Right, because when I was thinking about that, I said, okay, these people are unskilled. So I'm an RN. An RN makes $25, or whatever it is an hour. Yeah, so would that bump up their pay? You know what I mean? It's like,
well, they would have no choice but to bump it up.
Well, they don't even have to, because think about it. I took the time to go to college, spend money, get trained and certified in what I'm doing, and here's these people who are on their bicycles that deliver dinners.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, because again, like you said, if they make $30 an hour, like you just mentioning, and these guys, the RNs, how much you say they make?
Yeah, the RN might make, let's say, per hour, let's say $40 an hour.
Okay, they make, say, 40 hours, and they get $30.
Yeah, $30.
So would that cause the industry to bump up? Probably. I mean, I think they would. To be real about it, I think they would.
But then all the other industry would have to bump up.
Well, exactly. But see, that's the point, though. If we have, in California, what is it, 15 now? Mm-hmm. If we keep doing it to $50 an hour, I mean, realistically, working at McDonald's for $50 an hour, and I mean, that's.
But then, it's unrealistic, because then you would not be able to go into McDonald's and buy anything. Yeah. A Happy Meal would cost almost $100.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, the federal minimum wage is what, at
$7.58.
Well, they should bump that up at least.
Right.
Bump it up to, like with California, 15, and leave it there.
Yeah, and the reason I bring that up is because, as a student, as a former professional student and alumni, just like you are,
yes.
These are the questions students are going to ask. What jobs should I be actually going? I know we got great counselors there and stuff like that, but a lot of people are there. They have such a big workload. They don't really care what these kids really go in the direction of. And if I was a young person and I went up to you as a trustee, I would really want your honest opinion about. I'm in it for the money. The love of the job is not it. I got a family. I got things that I want. So
well, here's his example. What you just said. You said you're in it for the money.
I'm in it for the money.
Go work at a warehouse. I hate to say that. I heard this one girl at the job. She says, Like that. I'm in it for the money. So I'm going to go to Amazon, work $20 an hour. Then by the time she get out, she be all broken.
Yeah, she's all broken up. Yeah.
But if a kid wants to go just for the money and not thinking about career, then I said, you have options out there. You have to be realistic.
But
go work at Amazon if you want to work there.
And a lot of the young people don't understand, if you're going for a career, you have to get certified.
Exactly. And see, that's what you just said. There's a difference. I want to go for the money. I want a job. I want the money. I want to take care of my family. So you're not
go to the gentleman's club. You know what I mean? You go for the money.
But you're not even worried about a career.
Right.
You just label it. You see, I want a job. I got to take my go to Amazon. Now, if you want a career, then we have to look at things differently. And we look at career, like you said, you need certification to get that better pay. Or you need an associate science degree. So that means we need choices than what we have right now, which Moreno Valley College don't have the choices that reflects what's out there.
Right, but Mr. Terrell, as a student, I've applied for several jobs, and it's either I don't have the experience or I don't have the education.
Okay.
How do you
now what I would ask that student is what is it you trying to seek?
Well,
what job are you trying to seek?
It's a government job. There was some San Bernardino City was offering a job, but I need an associate degree.
Okay.
I don't have an associate degree. I'm working toward that.
Well, here's the thing. As a trustee, just like that fella Eddie, the kid I was telling you about, he had to go through an internship. Okay, then I said, okay, do the city. But why not have the college create those career paths to those kind of jobs in San Bernardino? Now if like I said, Moreno Valley College could create a career path to people that want to work in municipal employment. But it's unnecessary. You have to work at the city of Moreno Valley, but you could create a certificated program, or you could create a associate's degree that could lead to a job like that. But if you don't have that connection with like Moreno Valley College and the city of Moreno Valley, we are working together to create career paths for people that want to go into a municipal job.
Right. Well, then why don't we do this?
Okay.
The Air Force has a program. It's called the Community College of the Air Force, where they give applied associate degrees.
Yeah.
Applied science in whatever your job is. So if I'm a cook in the Air Force, it's an applied associate degree. So not only did I take the courses, the Air Force also trained me, which gave me the experience. Why don't we have programs like that at Moreno Valley?
You just said it. You just say that's the thing that what you just mentioned.
We start giving AAS degrees.
Yeah.
Applied
science. Like you said, you put it to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a viable solution.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we should pursue. That's what I will pursue as a trustee.
Right.
That's something
to make it a faster thing, because as a student, I'm trying to apply for this job, but it's either you got to have one or the other. So, as a young person, you remember when we were coming out of it, you're applying for this great job. It might pay, really nice money, and I can live, pretty good. But, you're a great hire, but you don't have the experience. You got a degree, but you don't have the experience.
Yeah, applied.
But if I had an applied science, I could say, well, I've got experience because I took the firefighting program at Moreno Valley High School.
Yeah.
Because, firefighters make good money.
Yes.
Good money. But what do they ask you for? Experience. Of course, recommendations. And, there's a lot of nepotism in the firefighting department, by the way. But, again, and I'm going to give you a quick story. I remember in the military, I saw this guy. I was stationed at March. He was in the Air National Guard. He was 19 years old. He applied for the fire department, and they turned him down because he didn't have enough experience. Okay. But because he went training in the Air Force through the Air National Guard, he already got the experience that he needed through the Air Force, right? Applied science. And then as he's waiting for his time, because he was kind of young. I think they rejected he was kind of young. By the time this guy was 23 years old, and he kept checking back with the city. I think he went down to the city of Fontana or something like that. He kept checking back with them to keep his face new and stuff. This kid was 22 years old, got picked up by the fire department, and was making, back 20 years ago, significant money for that age. But he already had the experience that put him in that position to where they looked at him like, okay, he's from, I'm not telling everybody to join the military. What I'm saying is, why can't we have a program where we can give these kids an applied science degree? Because some people do want to go work for the child support system in San Bernardino or down in Riverside, but they either don't have this or they don't have that. So, Mr. Terrell, what can you do to bridge the gap in some programs? I know you can't do it for all programs, but in some programs.
Well, we look at the ones we can do and see what the process is and do it.
Okay.
Simple question: just do it. Find out what we have and do it.
Right, but okay. Then we do it, and what happens if, it's a good idea or whatever, and then it doesn't come to fruition?
Well, you do it as a pilot program.
Okay.
You don't go full blast. You do a
to see how people like it, or
how
it's going to take.
Do a pilot program, which it could be maybe I don't know how many years you would do it. You maybe do 2 years to see how it works and to reevaluate it. If it doesn't work, then we could jettison and try something else. That's what
because I'm thinking, the certificated program, which is great. I'm not downing the certificate programs, but why don't you just get rid of the certificated programs and some of those things and apply it into a degree? Because a lot of people, I got a certificate in this. Yeah, but you don't have a degree, which is what the minimum qualifications to the job is.
So you're saying make some of these certificates into
associate, applied science degrees. Yeah.
Well, that's something you can
move them in there. Move it into that thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Being a trustee, you can do a lot of things, and one of the things you can do is to put that question out. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mr. Donovan has a good suggestion. Why not look at certificated programs and turn it to? I mean, you put it out there. That's the thing about it now, that people have good ideas, but they never get heard.
Right.
Or they just drown them out. Instead of saying, let's see what he's talking about and see, can we do that?
Right. Because, as we know as adults, and we've been in this world long enough to know, it's either you have the experience or you have a degree. And even if you got one or the other, and let's say you do get hired, if you're lacking the experience, now we've got to spend money to train you. Correct?
Yeah.
Or if you don't have the degree, we put a time limit on you to finish your degree in a certain amount of time. And then if you don't, then you get fired, right? Now, okay, so let's say I get hired, Mr. Terrell, based on not having an education, but I have the experience. But the job requires me to have an associate degree. Mm-hmm. And they give me like a year to complete it or whatever it is, right? But then I'm going to Moreno Valley, and I can't get the class I need to complete my degree because it keeps falling off or whatever. See, that's the challenges a lot of students, and you remember those days.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's a hit and miss. You hopefully to God that there be enough people in that class.
And this job was paying me for a year $20-something, $30 an hour.
What you need.
And then now I didn't complete the education part. Now I get fired. I get released.
Well, that's the kind of thing that, again, working closely with an industry that, say, whatever industry that you're working with, that we find, that's the thing we have to do. We have to inventory what we have. And to find out those kind of requirements for these industries so we can know what we need to do to have those classes that person, that student needs to finish whatever it is they're trying to do.
Right.
But we just have to inventory. If we don't know, then how is it possible? We just shooting the dart. We shooting the dart in the dark.
If you noticed in the Inland Empire, especially when I guess they changed the Medi-Cal thing, whatever, you see a lot of dental offices running around here. So when we talk medical, unfortunately, a lot of people think about surgeon and doctors and stuff like that. But nobody really talks about a dental program. And I know we have some great dental programs over here, but we have the nursing program at RCC campus, city campus. Where's the dental program? Because
you mean at RCC or Moreno Valley College?
Well, we know there's a nursing program at the city college.
Moreno Valley College does have a dental.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, why, like you were saying a couple of weeks ago, why do they have all of the programs centralized in one area? Why can't they spread these things out?
Well, see, that's the whole approach I will bring as a trustee, is to have a holistic approach that all campuses have some form of the things that other campuses have. Because, you can't have a full-blown nursing program, but you can have some type of nursing program.
Because I don't know if you remember this. Okay, the Riverside campus has the nursing program. I heard there's a waiting list to get in there because everything's centralized there. You can only teach so many students doing there. So, like you said, we should have a program.
Well, my thing is, as a trustee, that I will do is to look at it and see how can we have not such a big program, but to have a program that we could take pressure off,
right.
not off of RCC, but to also bring a need to our community. So people in our community who want to be nurses would have a shot of being a nurse, going through the nursing program. It may be a smaller version, a downsized version of it, but
still,
we need to look at that.
Right, and then think about where the Moreno Valley campus is. You got the county hospital right there. So like you said, that hybrid program could kind of jointly meet.
Exactly. And see, that's what I'm saying. We got 2 hospitals in our own community. Riverside has, I think, 3 hospitals, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But why, if they're busting at the seams, why not take the pressure off and have our program at Moreno Valley College?
Right.
Like I said, it could be a downsized version of the nursing program, but it would help, again, I say it again. It would help not only the RCC, but it would help meet a need in our community. And because we got the 2 hospitals right there, these things could support the nursing program in Moreno Valley College.
Right. So, as we're closing out, we got about 10 minutes to go, but is there anything you want to say to the electorate out there in regards to, this final push, the elections tomorrow? You got 10 minutes to say or 9 minutes to say whatever's on your mind in regards to your campaign, anybody you want to thank, and, just things like that are on your mind.
Well, like I said, what I say to people, for those who don't know,
by the way, and I'm going to cut you off. By the way, you ran a great campaign.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But like I said, it took a lot of people to make this happen. But I want to say I take my hats off to people like you, Donovan, and so many other folks out there who have encouraged me over the years. Because I would say this run is unlikely because I didn't even think about running for the RCC. It happened. I was going to sit it out and just keep doing what I've been doing. Right. TikToks and going to work. But this was an opportunity to make a difference in our community, to fill in the blank where our community has not filled in creating a economic mobility. And I say this again to the people in our community. I worked long and hard to fight for our apprenticeship training program, a hybrid program. And so that we can meet the needs, not only the industry's needs, but our needs. And so far, that's what's lacking for us to get the industries that we only could dream of. And for those that ain't out there, I am a college graduate. I graduated from RCC. I have an AA and an AS. I went on to UCR and I earned a bachelor's arts degree in political science. If you want someone who will fight for our fair share of resources, who's going to be a voice and fight like hell, excuse my language, for our community, then you got the right person right here, Daryl Terrell. That's who you want. That's who you want as your trustee. But if you want someone that's going to go along to get along, then I'm not your candidate, because I will be trouble, and I mean good trouble, because there's so many things our community has been lacking, and we've been treated like a second class citizen. I had to say that our community has been treated like that, but we need an individual in there that's going to fight for our community, and I have done it over the last. Oh, God, how many years? 30, maybe less than 30 years.
30-something years.
And some people have seen me from like Roy's dad, who inspired me to do what I do today, just like Donovan, is to speak up, because his dad used to tell me all the time, you need to speak up. And I'm like, about what? Right. I said, about what? Then I started doing those speeches, the inspiring speeches, and I start tackling serious issues, challenges, fiscal issues, and things that Donovan we've been talking about. But that's because that I have all those years been listening and asking questions to be able to articulate my vision and my ideas, and to learn to be persevere. I guess that's the word you want to use. And so if you want someone that's been in the game, has skin in the game, has always been around to fight for your interests, and will continue to fight for your interest, then you want to vote for Daryl Terrell. That's who you want to vote for. I'm not a professor. I'm not a doctor. I'm a regular person who works at Lowe's for the last 11 years, who's seen what's going on in our community, and always been involved in our community. You know, even when it was not popular to stand up for something that I believed in. And for those out there who don't know, I fight for all people. I don't care what your political party is, what your ethnicity, it doesn't matter. Now, if you want to talk about we in this together, I symbolize that. Because every time I fought at our city, it was for all people. I didn't care if you were a Democrat. If you were a Republican, I didn't say get lost. I said, no, you're a part right. of our future. And you're a part of our present and our future, and you deserve to have the same thing that we all, because it doesn't take a Democrat or Republican to do trash or potholes and things like that. Mm-hmm. But that's the kind of person you're going to see as your trustee, someone that's going to fight for our fair share of resources. And we've been neglected. And we deserve to have it. We don't deserve to have we're the second largest city in the county. And we got a Inland Empire Training Center that's going to be in Hurupa.
Mm-hmm.
And we are surrounded by warehouses. Now, what kind of sense is that? Now, I'm going to tell you guys
this. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
No, but it's a true story.
He's going off, y'all. He's going off. Go ahead.
No, but it's a true story. I had a web, what do they call it? Zoom. Mm. And I told I guess he was the vice president of finance. I said, sir, let me ask you this question. You guys gonna put this training center in Hurupa, and we're surrounded by warehouses. So I mean, it makes sense to have a facility in our own community so our people could benefit from. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of thing that I'll fight for. Here's another thing. Mm-hmm. We have been talking about over the last of the campaign about our fair share of resources.
Right.
Okay, sports programs. How many of you guys know in Reno Valley College there's non-existence over there? Mm-hmm. You have a multi-purpose room, and most of the students say we want a gym or something.
Right, and we have a lot of great athletes here in the community.
Yeah, and the thing is, I asked the lady, the president of Reno Valley College. Mm-hmm. I asked her. I said, "Ma'am, I mean, where is that? I mean, middle school has some kind of sports program, but we don't." And she says, "Well, we have a master plan." I said, "But ma'am, we have Kawhi Leonard, who's from Reno Valley. Mm-hmm. We have Daryl Thomas, who's a LA Dodger. We have resources in our neck of our woods. Why are we not utilizing them? We have developers in here that would be willing to try to help us create a sports facility, mm-hmm. a basketball court, just a bare minimum of basketball courts." Mm-hmm. And she didn't have anything. So she just looked like shocked that I said that.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of things I'm going to speak up about. I'm not going to be sitting silent and not say nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be in there. Fight for us. I'm going to be our voice to make sure we get our fair share of reasons. Because we, Reno Valley College and our community deserve better than we got. Mm. And I think you need a person like me that will continue to fight for our fair share of resources.
Absolutely. Well, Daryl, tomorrow's the election.
Yep.
If everything goes out the way that it looks like, I think it's going to be a new day at Moreno Valley College, and it's long overdue. Great campaign by all the candidates that are running. Good luck to everybody. It is the midterm, so again, we don't expect a big bunch of people coming out, but it is what it is. Man, again, brilliant campaign you ran. I think it's probably one of the more better ones, more economical. It made more sense in today's economic scale. Mm-hmm. I mean, not everybody has, $185,000 to drop on a local campaign, and things like that. So I'll be watching it. We got about a minute to go. Are you going to be working tomorrow? Are you going to be at home? What's the story?
Well, I'll be at home just watching TV. That's all I'm going to do. I ain't going to no parties.
Right. I mean, are you going to be watching the results and everything as they come in?
Yeah, I'll look at it and see how it's going.
Yeah.
I ain't going to lie to you. I'm going to be watching results all over like everybody else at MSBC, all that stuff.
Right. And then, the local ones.
Yeah, so I'll have to see
the
what
ROV, the Riverside ROV, kind of see when they post it on Facebook and stuff like that. Yeah. So, man, you guys, like I said, the future is now. And if we don't get the right people in office, we're just going to have another 2-4 years of mediocrity, and I don't think we deserve that. I think you're the best qualified in your race, and there's a lot of people running. good luck to everybody. So we're going to see how it's going to turn out tomorrow. Hey, you guys, I'm unapologetic. This is Donovan Sadiq. Tune in next week. If everything goes right, we will have Daryl Terrell again next week telling us what the future is going to hold. All right, you guys, we'll see you then.